All right, so the clarification request was on Kokyu-Ho, as it was presented in a video which I will link in the comments section. Okay. The first thing is the Ho of Kokyu-Ho is not the Ho of Shiho Nage, so that Ho does not mean direction. It's not Kokyu direction. Like Shiho Nage, Shiho is four directional throw, Shiho Nage in Japanese. So the sound is the same, but the kanji is different. Kokyu-Ho, that Ho means method. So Kokyu-Ho is a method for cultivating Kokyu. That's what it is. Kokyu is an aspect or an element of the internal aspects. In particular, it is his yang energy being allowed to enter my body, go down in my body, feel the earth energy, and they will thereby pressurize my body, okay? That can then be released, and that causes what we call a Kokyu projection. So let us here define then, Kokyu-Ho is a method for cultivating the pressurizing of your person with their yang energy combining with the earth energy, okay? Let's see, some things in the video that are that need repeating here. Okay, the first thing in our first video on Kokyu-Ho, our gateway video on Kokyu-Ho, we were told that as a method for training, it's not self-defense. I'm not sitting at a Japanese restaurant and somebody goes, that's mine. That's not what's happening. They are doing a particular prescribed movement that is organized for the cultivation of Kokyu as I just described it. So in that sense, they are prescribed to do a Kokyu projection into my center, okay? And that is the tactic of spinal displacement. So they're not here grabbing this really hard. It's not a wrist grab that I'm trying to get out of. It's not some, I don't like my hands here, let me get out of it. The uke is prescribed to themselves do a Kokyu projection. That immediately starts that Kokyu pressurizing in his body. So the Kokyu projection, it looks like this. That's my prescribed role in the method of cultivation here, okay? Some things particularly said in the video before I go on to the question in particular is you are not going back to somebody who's like holding me in place. So this uke now is not doing the drill. They are just squeezing my wrist. Do you see that? And you're not going to go back to do some sort of leverage disadvantage to them where you can now do two yang energies on your hand. Again, in our video, in our gateway video, I do go backwards, but I have a yin hand and a yang hand. I have the outward spiral on this hand, the inward spiral on this hand. I have fire on this hand, water on this hand, and Kokyu on this hand, and Aiki on this hand. Okay? The reason that I went back was because as that yang energy is coming into me and pressurizing, I am going to circulate it in the tanden of my body. I'm in the internal field, the lower tanden. I am going to circulate it and prolong its presence in my body. So I am going back, but it's for the purposes of circulating that pressure, that chi in my body. Oh, meaning it's not for leverage. So I don't need any leverage because his energy is not here at the wrist. His energy is pressurized and bouncing off the earth. So I can throw from here just as easily as I had thrown from here as uke. Okay? Likewise, when I go back, I don't have to worry about how far I go back in terms of leverage and things like that. Because it's not like I would lose the ability to internalize his energy. So this is pretty far back, I would say, and he pushes. He's not going to push me anywhere. And you can still project from there too, okay? That's not why I was going back. That does not mark how far I go back. Leverage is not the catalyst there. Also, the same thing goes with my arms. I don't have to worry about where my arms are. In other words, I'm not out here for a mechanical reason. I'm out here for that ritual reason. This is the shape of the inward spiral, the fire element, the yang element, and the Kokyu element. In the Kihon, in the ritual you're doing, in the Kokyu-Ho, it doesn't matter where your hands are, go ahead. It doesn't matter, he's pushing, it doesn't matter, he's not going to push me over, it's all just pressurizing, and you can do the same thing, okay? So, all that to say, you're doing Kokyu a particular way, a Kokyu-Ho a particular way, because that is the prescribed ritual for cultivating Kokyu. You're not trying to gain or stop yourself from losing a mechanical advantage. And nor are you dealing with someone that's doing a wrist grab and you have to try to throw him and all that kind of stuff. That's all malarkey. None of that's true. Okay? Now to the question. You have a guy, a uke, who comes in and pushes down on your hands. What do you do? Hey, uke, you're supposed to do a Kokyu projection. You're supposed to push through my center. That would be the first solution. They're not training correctly. Fix them in the form. To me, it is the same thing if I have a spotter and they're spotting me on bench press. They're supposed to help me bring that barbell out to my nipple line. They're not supposed to chuck it towards my feet, and then I show through my ego attachment that I can hold it on the nipple line. You're not a good spotter. Does that make sense? Okay? If you can't do that, I would go get another partner. If no one in your dojo can do it, I would leave the dojo. Flat out, there's nothing going on there. If, however, you're not doing Kokyu-Ho and you're working on bringing Takamusu Aiki into Kokyu-Ho such that he is going to do any kind of projections. Very similar to the game we play here where he tries to touch my chest. He can touch my chest any way that he wants to, and I have to stop him from doing it. So he goes, and I am doing the same Kokyu-Ho and the same Aiki adhesions, Kokyu projections, even though he is trying to get out of all of those things and trying to touch my chest. So maybe your uke is coming down, right? A lot of times, especially is after you throw them, and then they kind of come up, do you see, like that, okay? Well, if he's going to change the rules, you can still do Kokyu-Ho. He goes up, and he can't ever get down. He can't get down. He can't get in a position to do this. So I will hyper-exaggerate it. Let's say he goes up, And he's going to drop his weight into Seiza. You see? That kind of thing. You get that? The same thing, he goes up, he can't get down. You don't let him down if you don't want to. Or you combine the internal and the external. So he goes right and boom, and you come around. So we'll do that slower so you can see it, go slower. He's got his weight. Well, I will externally yield and then go back to the internal projection as I load the hand for the Kokyu. That doesn't change if he is seated and he's trying to shove my hands down. He goes to shove my hands down and you do the same thing. You don't have to let your hands get there, okay? So first solutions, tell him to train correctly. Second solutions would be do an external yield to that and then go back to an internal projection. And then, the second solution was don't let him ever get down. You can hold him up with Kokyu. Okay? Then the third solution was an external yield and then followed by an internal projection. The other one is he's got you here. Again, I don't think you're doing Kokyu-Ho at this point. So you'll find people, go ahead and push, and they'll do all kinds of little leverage tricks. He's pushing, and I can just get so much torque here that I'm out. Do you see? And go, let's have you just stay there. Push, 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 push. And I can get so much torque here that I'm out. And stay there where you are. I'm going to move out from under you. Stay exactly where you are. His body shifted slightly to the left. Go back. So as his body shifted just ever so slightly, again, boom, then you can project on this side. So you're here, boom, pop. Or, boom, you're down here. He's got it. With relaxed, tension-free movement, he can't hold me down. So there's just no way. You really got it. And I just kind of lift my hands up and you'll back in that. So he can be standing on it and he has lots of weight. If I try to tense, it won't work, but if I just lift my hands up in space, you can do it, okay? But none of that to me is Kokyu-Ho training. Kokyu-Ho is he pressurizes that center and I'm going to allow it to pressurize and then release it out through his center, You want that. You don't want the throw. So sometimes I don't even do the throw. Oh, just that was it. Boom, 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 hit, hop. I just want that. That is Aiki at the energetic level. Okay, so you're doing the training at that energetic level, which I wrote about today in that blog entry, What is Aiki?